Joining me in the studio is Gaurav Sachdeva, who's the co-founder of the Founders Majlis, Chief Business Officer at Square, and also Co-Chair of MFTA Qatar. Gaurav, welcome to Wall Street, MENA. Now, Qatar is mourning today, of course, following the passing of the father, Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. He's known also to be the architect, actually, of the modern economy in Qatar. What does his legacy mean now for the economy and the financial scene in Qatar?
Yeah, I think a lot has been done with Sheikh Mohammed when he was the architect and he built the country. Yeah. It's a great loss for the country. If you look at the financial infrastructure, the way Qatar is building the infrastructure first, layers first, and then create the noise. How banks, regulators, fintechs, startups, and even VCs coming along. That's the more depth level, right? If you look at what UAE is doing is more magnet model, what Saudi is doing is a scale model, but Qatar is more about the depth, create the infrastructure layers and then create the noise, and that's what now we're seeing.
Yeah, so she's working from the depth of the system. And this is what also will take me to my next question, that everyone now talking about the Saudi and the UAE in fintech in general. Why is Qatar not getting enough or much credit in the scene?
I don't think so. It is being ignored. As I said, Qatar build first and create the noise later. And I think that's the right order. Let me try to unpack Qatar. So with 100% internet penetration, close to 96% contactless penetration, fintech startups have doubled in Qatar since 2020. QFC is doing an amazing job in building allowing new entities to getting in. And now if you look at with Web Summit, QIA announcing initially $1 billion fund of funds and now with another $2 billion top up. So there are $3 billion fund of funds around there. Close to 12 VCs have set up the business. So it is build first, create noise later.
Okay, so the noise is going to come later. You also co-founded MFTA Qatar chapter in 2024. What gap you were trying to fill, maybe that no one was addressing it at that time?
The gap was connection.
Okay.
That's a good question. When we co-founded in 2024, we saw that banks, regulators, and fintech startups are there in the market. But it's very difficult to bring all of these three entities into a neutral table. So what we tried to do was bring them all together in a neutral way. You know, Raghda, what I'm really proud of in, not about the kind of events we hosted, kind of roundtables we did in MENA Fintech. What I'm really proud is that how our connections between fintech and banks help them move to a POC, or now they're doing the real life set of transactions. So our role is to create such rooms where we can get the ecosystem player into a single table and get into the conversation. That is the one point. Second thing is, when we started, fintech did not have a voice towards the regulator. So now we actually host a voice wherein if there are any concerns or any new policy decisions we wanted to have, we could actually represent towards the regulator.
Yeah.
MENA Fintech is been there for quite some time in many markets. We were not reinventing the model. We are trying to fit it best for what model works for the Qatar.
So getting people together and also be a voice to the regulators as well in Qatar. And Qatar's real-time payment system, Fawran, as we see, has been rapidly adopted by corporate treasuries for high-value B2B payments. What does that tell us about where Qatar's fintech is actually gaining attraction at the moment?
Yeah. So as I said in the beginning, right, quietly is the word. So we built the infrastructure first, which was the Fawran. Initially, that is open for P2P payments. And now when we opened for B2B, the treasury started involving, banks, corporates started doing. You know, if you look at what Qatar Central Bank publishes the number, in April, Qatar has processed total payment volumes of 112 billion riyals, which is double year-on-year basis. And also, if you look at that, 80% of that number is accounts and bank transfers, which has also increased 68% on the volume basis. So there's a volume which is increasing. However, the transaction count is still on the MasterCard or the Visa or the network sides of it. So when banks adopt these kind of infrastructure, they look for speed, agility, and security, something which is very stable and proving. So that's kind of a model which I am telling you, proving it that the infrastructure is laid out. And then now the use cases are coming in the banks and the various different entities are engaging with that.
Yeah, definitely. You also mentioned now when you spoke about the steps that Qatar has taken are very steady, I think, build first and then make noise later. How do you describe the scene at the moment in Qatar?
There is a lot happening. I wish next time we should have
Steady? Is it fast? Is it noisy? How do you feel it is?
Next time we should do this interview in Qatar. I would love to show you the beautiful infrastructure there. The Qatar advantage is their own DNA. The way this ecosystem can move, the startups getting the faster regulator approvals, moving between banks and regulator are much faster because it is smaller in the market, but bigger in the volume size of it. So things can move much faster. I have seen very recent Snunu being acquired by Jahez for more than 1.1 billion riyal exit. So you've seen the tech exits happening. I have seen venture capitalist funds are setting up their shops in Doha. So that's a good sign. I have seen a need for bringing quality talent to the country. I have seen 10-year golden visa being provided. I have seen the tax residencies there. The corporate tax is 10%, which is suitable. So I think it is the best fit place. And also I tell you, in Qatar, you can reach 80% of the world in 6 hours. So there's a connectivity from the east to the west. So there's a lot of things happening, right? Particularly after FIFA, the infrastructure has been built there. So I would welcome anybody to come and have a conversation there, and we can help you out there.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really good, especially for new businesses now and fintech in general, when it's an environment that is friendly to businesses. Also, Qatar Financial Center just signed a deal with Ahli Bank to develop digital assets and tokenization use cases. Is Qatar quietly building now a digital asset hub?
Quietly is the right word.
Okay.
Let me try to give you a trend line. 2023, QFC set up this digital asset lab with 20 startups. 2024, they all went to the POC stage. And now in 2026, Ali Bank has signed up, which means that until it was still startups, it was more of a POC and a sandbox. But when banks getting into a picture, it is really a ready go-to-market kind of a stage. What Qatar is trying to do is creating the tokenization hub, whether it's talk about real estate use case, insurance, sukuk. They do not want to play the crypto game. They want to play a real tokenization
of world assets. Yeah. Okay. So now Qatar is big on tokenization of real world assets.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just real estate though?
No, there are other use cases like sukuk.
Okay.
Bonds. Even I see conversation around gold.
Yeah.
And these are the use cases I see.
Diamonds, I heard as well, or is it not happening in Qatar yet?
As of now, gold, but I see the use cases.
Yeah.
First one I see most popular is the real estate tokenization one.
True.
Where from a startup side, there are use cases coming in. Bank side, there is a engagement. And even from the real estate developer side. So they are also trying to work together on that.
Yeah, because we see that also in UAE and in Saudi as well. Tokenization of real estates is actually it's getting really big at the moment. And we'll see, I'm sure we're going to see more tokenizations as well. So B2B payments is your specific focus now at X Square. What is still broken about how businesses now in Qatar and also in GCC pay each other?
Yeah. So let me tell you what I see on the ground. What X Square does is it's a B2B fintech building the orchestration layer. Now, if you look at how B2C payment work, like you buy coffee or you do that sending of money, it's very simple and easy. But when businesses are paying to another business or business is doing transaction with another business, it still feels like 2010.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So there is like manually cash flows there, checks floating around, some bounce, doesn't bounce. Reconciliation is an issue. So all is very fragmented. So what X square, the square of that three dots we do is invoices, reconciliation, and payment. So when these three dots are connected, then comes the credit, and that's the square of X square, when invoice, reconciliation, payment, and credit, and that actually opens up the cash flow, treasury, and working capital management solution for the businesses.
Yeah.
One of the hero product what we have is that a corporate making a payment to a supplier, where the supplier is non-card accepting merchant. So it used to be on the bank to bank side. Now they can use their corporate powered by MasterCard to make the payment, and supplier continue to receive in their bank account. So that's a very interesting rail what we allow, which allow the corporate to use additional working capital days.
Definitely, and solves a lot of problems that people and corporates have maybe in these kind of payments. Now, I asked you before about the fintech or Qatar fintech scene at the moment. Let me ask you again, how do you see Qatar's fintech ecosystem moving forward in the next 5 years, let's say?
I see three trends. One is about tokenization. So Qatar would become like a tokenized hub. Second is going to be open finance, where the Qatar Central Bank coming up with open banking and open finance guidelines, getting toward SME finance, lending, and embedded finance. Some part of it would X Square would play a role. And the third, it would largely look at the role of more of payment orchestrator, wherein banks and startups could work together towards that. Now, underneath all of this is capital. So QIA has announced $3 billion capital to come in. We have talent coming in. I talked about Jahez acquisition.
Yeah.
So talent, quality talent, capital, and the infrastructure getting it together. So Qatar build first and then make noise later.
Yeah.
It's also about, it's not a zero-sum game. Companies can set up their entity in Qatar, raise fund in UAE, raise funds from Saudi, and set up their rails in Qatar. So it's all working in tandem. I would advise anybody who look to expand and set up their businesses in Qatar, I think that's going to be the hub.
Yeah, I mean, definitely building fast, and also making a lot of noise as well. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for joining us today.
Thanks, sir.